Hello YouTube, this is BUB'S Comics, and I am here with another comic haul. Tons of good stuff to go through, some signatures, some key issues, big fun, and some completed runs. So let's take a look. First, I'll show off in the background, we have a Jim Lee signed X-Men #1 over here, and over here we have a Michael Turner Wolverine Origins #1. One of my Grail list books, and I don't even know if one exists, but I would assume that there is that there's a sketch cover of this Wolverine Origins #1 done by Michael Turner, and I'd like to find one signed by Michael Turner. And so if any of you know that that exists out there, that's going to be one I pony up for, so hopefully it's out there. We got Wolverine sitting over here in Morpheus's chair, chilling, saying hi, always looking at the books, and as always, old Vader's happy to see you. So first off, we'll start with some signed books I got at the Louisville SuperCon, last convention I went to, and I got a bunch of books signed by Greg Land, and I'm not ashamed to say it. And this one is Wolverine. You know that you've met one of your favorite artists when he had, and I told him this, when he's pretty much drawn almost all of your favorite characters in comics. So Wolverine, of course, being my favorite character, and this is a great rendition of Wolverine Through the Ages by Greg Land. Just looks freaking awesome. Here's another one. He knows how to draw the ladies. If you know that Wolverine and Storm once had a little fling. So there's another one, Mystery in Madripoor. This is by Greg Land. This is A Hunt for Wolverine #2. And this got Patch in it, which is one of my favorite versions of Wolverine. When he was in Madripoor, he dressed up with a patch. And it's funny because the whole time you're reading the book, you're thinking, or all those books, the early Wolverine Volume 1 run, you're like, or Volume 2, depending on the first ongoing series. There you go. You're like, how does no one know who he is? He's just wearing a patch, you know? It's like Superman's glasses or something. That thing's not working. But he gets away with it. And then when he finally drops the patch routine and he just goes around and everyone knows that he's Wolverine, everyone pretty much tells him, you know, you weren't fooling anybody. Nobody has hair like you. So here's another Greg Land book, The Uncanny X-Men #515. So that's in Volume 1 of Uncanny X-Men, towards the end, right? And look at that. One of my favorite, there's the White Queen there, Emma Frost. She was looking awesome. And he signed right above her, because I was worried he was going to sign right across her chest. And I was like, oh, please don't ruin that. So, but she looks really, really good, really good. And Emma Frost is one of my favorite characters in the X-Men, and definitely one of my favorite women. She is my favorite, probably, female X-Men member. And I like her best when she's kind of bad, so versus good. So I'm really happy to have that signed. Again, Greg Land knocked it out of the park, signing some of my favorite characters. Here's a Jim Shooter signed Secret Wars #1. So there's a little Marvel key for you. And I got this signed by Jim Shooter. He told me a couple of great stories. You might be able to check a couple of my other videos for those stories. But he was a really cool guy, really chill. There was nobody there, so you had plenty of time to talk to him. All the kind of comic celebrities, if you will, or creators. I like to go to conventions on Sundays. That's my big day for a convention, because I don't like the big crowds too much. I don't want to fight for everything. And I know people will be like, look, basically if there's something specific you're after at a con, you need to be there Friday, because you got to be there when the doors open. If you really want that book that everyone's going after, you got to get there before they get there. So good luck with that, right? And you still may not get it, and it's going to be full price. But if you go on Sunday, the crowds are dead. A lot of the celebrities are easily, you don't have to wait in lines for any of it. And it's like VIP access or something. All the artists are available. All of them will talk to you. They'll sign your books. The dealers are willing to make deals, because it's one less thing they got to pack up if you're going to buy something, especially something big. And then also, you can kind of haggle, which I like to haggle on prices a little bit to get what I think is fair prices, back down to fair prices. People always complain about con prices. You pay con prices on Friday and Saturday. You pay, fair price or lower on Sunday. So that's what I do. I always go on Sundays. and I always enjoy it. And it's always the better cons I've ever been to were ones that I went on Sundays to get my good deals. So there you go. Here is it says 2 BUB'S comics by Ed McGuinness. It's Hulk number 30. So there's the first appearance of Combination Hulk. And, Ed talked a little bit about Combination Hulk. He wasn't a real super personable guy to me. He was busy kind of like chatting with his friends or whatever, talking about what they were going to eat. And he's kind of aloof, kind of young, but whatever. He was all right, I guess. So he signed this to BUB'S Comics, and he talked a little bit about the creation of Combination Hulk and how there's like a really hard to find pop figure and an action figure, and how he didn't have either one of them, but he'd like to. Here is Tron number 3. Better follow that white rabbit. It says inspired by the classic film and hit video game. So that's pretty cool. And I think that I think it's a short run of comics on this one, but I have 1 and now this is 3, so I'll try and find the others. Here is a run completed. Woohoo! Fear Itself, Wolverine 3 of 3. I had, as you can imagine, 1 of 3 and 2 of 3, and now, you guessed it, 3 of 3. So glad to have that. Here is Werewolf by Night number 2. That's his first ongoing series. The reason that I picked this up, I already had this book. I had bought it from mycomicshop.com, where I get a lot of my pre-orders, and then also I get a lot of my books, like my random run fillers. I tend to pick up there. You can get them pretty cheap usually, and the shipping is good price on shipping. So this book I had bought from not this exact book, but a book just like it, I had bought from mycomicshop.com, and when I opened it up, the splash page, meaning the first page, was missing. It was ripped out. And I was like, what the hell? And they grade all their books, so there's no way that book should have been marked incomplete. Sometimes they'll sell an incomplete book if it's a big book, but a book like this, they probably wouldn't have even bothered to buy if they known it was incomplete. So anyway, it was an incomplete book, and so I contacted customer service. I explained what happened, and they put a credit on my account to get another book. Well, since I had already read this book and I wasn't really interested in replacing it right away, I used the credit to buy a different book. So I didn't have this book. So then I ended up picking it up. Where did I buy this book? I think it was at a convention. No, it was at a comic shop. It was at a comic shop out of town a couple weeks ago. I picked this book up to fill back into that run. So now, once again, I have a complete full run of Werewolf by Night, including, of course, the big dog, number 32. We'll keep the Werewolf by Night going. Here is Werewolf by Night number 3. So when you're looking this one up, sometimes it's Strange Tales number 3. Sometimes it's Werewolf by Night volume 2 number 3. It gets a little hairy. No pun intended. But not a bad one. And then, so there's number 3. I already had 1 and 2 and 4, and here's number 5. So another run completed. Woohoo! Yeah! Let's see. Here's another book. It was $1. If I see a Spider-Woman for $1, I'll pick it up. So this one was Spider-Woman number 21. Pick that up for $1. Here is The Sensational Spider-Man number 0. Giant size special, which I think this is by Dan Jurgens and Klaus Janson, but I think that this is potentially the worst lenticular cover I've ever seen. It's super hard to get just right, and these covers tend to be really bad anyway, these lenticulars. I thought maybe, well, if I take it out of the bag it'll look a little better, but nope, no dice. It looks bad no matter what you do with it. It has just too many things going on. It's like 1, 2, 3 different poses. So it just looks like crap. But anyway, I'll tell you how that is after I read it. Let's see. I think we'll finish these out. We'll see how fast we can go. Here is Barbed Wire, the movie special. So I don't have, I have a lot of movie specials. I really enjoy the comic adaptation of movies. I think they're fun. I like to see what the differences are. I like to see how they pace the book along the movie, especially movies that I know very well. This movie I do not know very well. I think I've seen all of it maybe once, not more than that. And I remember that the first like the opening credit scene for this movie has like Pamela Anderson doing a strip routine on a pole full nude. And I don't think I've seen the movie past that. Maybe I have, but I kind of remember bits and pieces after that. But you know, hey, if you're a kid growing up and you had Showtime or HBO, you got to see this movie and all its opening scene glory. Good luck to you. That was a good one. This one gets that just because. But I like to collect the movie versions of these books. I know they're kind of like novelties, but I think they're pretty cool, and I like the comparison that you can draw between the comic adaptation and the movies. So here is New Avengers number 15. There's some good Frank Cho art. Frank Cho art, pretty good. I like the way he draws Spider-Woman. I've been picking these Marvel Comics Presents up. If it's a Wolverine cover, I tend to pick them up, and I don't have them all, but I've got a pretty good. I probably got about 2/3 of that run of the Marvel Comics Presents, the first run. And they're coming out with a new Marvel Comics Presents. I've already pre-ordered those, so I'll review those when they come in, but I'm looking forward to it. I think they're going to be good. Here's King Kong, 1 of 3. What's funny is I don't know if they ever made 2 of 3 or 3 of 3. This is a 40-page official adaptation. This is the Peter Jackson movie that he did. I think it's a badass cover. If you remember back in the day when they were making gorilla covers on everything to sell more comics, well, there you go. Here's another gorilla cover. They sold me one. I don't think they ever published 2 of 3 and 3 of 3, but they did do a trade paperback with all 3. So, you know, whatever. You know, I'm not probably going to pick up the trade paperback. I might, but they tend to get a little pricey. I was hoping to just pick up 2 of 3 and 3 of 3. If you guys know that it exists or not exists, let me know. Here is Marvel Superhero Secret Wars, number 8. So this is, I think, the 2015 run, if I'm not mistaken. And I haven't read that run yet, but I've been collecting all the, the blister pack variants with the toy variants. So I've been collecting all those, and I'm only missing like 2 of them. So very happy to have that. And then we'll speed this up. Only 2 books left. Here's Marvel Comics Presents Wolverine and Nightcrawler. I'm pretty sure I already had it, but it was $1, so you know how that is. It's got some Joe Keith art on it. I'm sorry to anyone who doesn't like Joe Keith. I'm one of those people. I like him okay. Every now and then I think it looks cool, but for the most part, I think it just looks goofy. But I know there's a lot of Joe Keith, Sam Keith. I'm sorry, not Joe Keith, Sam Keith. A lot of Sam Keith artists, lovers out there. I'm not a huge fan, but I get through it. And this I picked up for $1 also. This is Colossus, featuring Colossus the Uncanny X-Men. So this is X-Men 129, Uncanny X-Men 129, which is the first appearance of Emma Frost and also Kitty Pryde. So here's some first appearances. Now this is a reprint, but I like to collect these reprints because the covers stay fairly true, and it's a Marvel Legends reprint, so it was packaged inside with a toy, and they in and of themselves can get quite scarce. So this is a book I'd like to upgrade to the real version. The other thing that happens when I get these reprints is I start thinking, man, if I ever get a real 129, I'll get it slabbed, or I might even just buy the slab because I have the reprint here. And it's a pretty good story, and it's pretty entertaining, and of course Emma Frost, one of my favorite female characters that we've discussed. And seeing as how I've talked about her twice, and I like to leave you with the pretty ladies, there you go. There's Emma Frost on the cover of Uncanny X-Men 515, signed by Greg Land, and I hope y'all enjoy that as much as I do. And if you do, and you like videos like this, subscribe, hit that thumbs up button. If you don't, hit the thumbs down. You won't be the only one. So thank you much. And when you get done watching all these videos and ones like them, read a comic. Thanks. Bye.